Thank you for staying with us. And now we continue in this very beautiful issue of forming the children. And I think first and foremost, it's also good to touch the relationship of the couple. That is the primary thing to make happen the good discipline and the good explanation to our children of how we should give this much for that particular activity. For example, in watching TV, so it starts with the parents, how they would discipline themselves, and then making realize to the children that this is the much they take because we need this much. And you need this much, so we give you this much. No? And in the virtue of prudence is very important in the family leadership, especially from the parents, no? And especially for mothers, because you are the formators of your children more than the fathers. Of course, the fathers are practically the head of this.
And Father, I'm not so comfortable with the commercials right now. I mean, when I watch with my kids, even the normal TV viewings, not the DVDs and all. I mean, it's so normal for the kissing and all. And of course, yes. They're like, I'm not so comfortable with that. Really.
We say immodest gestures. No?
Yes, immodest gestures, and how the movie industry have accepted premarital sex just like that. So it's very challenging for a mother to explain. Especially, I have 3 daughters. And so it's very challenging for a mother to explain and to mold your child, so when she is not in the house or in the home or in school or some with her friends in the future, she would be strong enough, or she can avoid these instances, or she can have good influences to her friends.
That's
and not be able to give in to the bad influences or peer pressure.
Exactly, because we cannot easily control.
Yes, we cannot control that as parents, Father, because we cannot always be beside our children all the
Although
time.
we can always talk to them after
Yes,
the class.
yes,
after some time in their
Yes.
schooling, we can check,
Yes.
what is going on.
Yes, and they meet people who, with different personalities. Like there are people who are so vain and so materialistic, and then my daughter wants to put lipstick. It's like
already not that age.
How do you explain? And so you use the word vanity, and then you have to explain more
From
about
the scriptures,
being
it's
vain,
very
about
good.
being
It's
vain.
very good from the scriptures.
Yes.
Kohelet,
So it's very challenging, Father, and sometimes it's really wonderful to have also a husband who's very religious. I mean, he's very committed in serving the Lord. So every time I'm confused or I run out of it, reasons, I can always run to him, and he can always explain to them.
That's it. That's the
Yes.
balance. No? That's the balance there.
Yes.
Because the direct hand for formation comes from the mother, but the
The authority.
setting of the limits
Yes, Father.
comes from the father, that will point out where to go, where this should go, and that is the role of fathers, and husbands. They will decide to what the family should choose in terms of means, and then patterns to follow, so that we could arrive to that particular product or result in leading the family for
Yes.
for good.
Yes.
I mean, not only naturally considering it, but especially for the supernatural reasons as well. That's why sometimes families would be tempted to seek for a more convenient lifestyle rather than more serviceable and efficient in work and formation of the children. That normally a good family could form the children well if they are disciplined. There should be sort of the allowing the Lord to intervene in how to see the values of sacrifices.
Yes.
Because nowadays, if we only pamper our children because we have money to pay for our helpers, yayas, and tutors and all this. No, they're so pampered to enjoy because anyway I have my tutor, anyway I have my yaya to do this, and there's no sense of responsibility that they lose the momentum of coping up what is necessary in their age, the level of responsibility given to them by the parents. For example, the house chores are very important to be given. They should wash the dishes, they should learn how to fold their own clothes, their beds. They should know how to arrange these things from the very beginning of the use of reason, so that they can start to really be responsible, know how they could manage time, how they could manage to please their parents in little ways. Like, I don't have much here, but I could make a bond paper of a card with Crayola or crayons or a pastel color, and it would say, I love you daddy, I love you mommy, it's your birthday. I could give it rather than maybe buy something costly because he has something already in his pocket because he receives a big allowance every day. And what happened is there's a difference between the limitations of these favors given to children. For example, if you give a cell phone at an early age, an iPad at an early age, allowing the child to play in the computer until she gets or he gets addicted to it. These are the things that we should really see. And there are important formation here that will make the person balance. Like the thing you always do in your community, John, you always balance work and
play and pray.
Yes, that's it.
No, I can easily relate with what Father was saying. I may not be a family man, but I am a brother's assistant working with 59. Now there are only 46 boys in our boarding home. And we have boys, high school boys, one grade 6 boy. And there are around 56 of them from around Cebu. Some of them from Leyte, in fact, we have some from Tacloban. And we're taking care of these boys. And there are certain things that, for me personally and for us their formators as Salesians, would have hoped that the parents had taught them. For example, the boys do not know how to clean the house. And if the boys do not know how to clean the house, they would not appreciate keeping, for example, an area very sensitive, the CR clean. Now, if these boys were not trained properly to clean, they would certainly not keep the place clean. So now we are doing our very best, for example, the boarding home, to teach them to clean the house. We tell them, this is part of your formation. Your parents agreed that we allow you to clean, and it is part of your program. They signed
Even though they are coming from
they're coming from well-to-do families or middle-class families,
Yes.
because precisely this is part of your formation. And also, some of them do not have study habits. These things should have been taught by their parents.
Exactly. That's a very nice inclusion there.
Yes, and I'm learning a lot, Father.
That's very nice, sisters.
Yes, I'm learning a lot
Very
from
nice.
both of you.
Because there's also, let me just add this, some of our boys do not, let me just say this frankly, do not have manners. They want to demand things. For example, when it comes a time when we have to open the door of the dormitory after their classes, they'll be shouting, "Brother, please open the door now!" Are you sure you're talking to me like that? Are you supposed to talk to me in that manner?
Oh, yes.
Basic things that I think the family should have planted in their system, in their
Exactly.
hearts early on in their lives.
I think
something we have forgotten.
Quality time and attention
Yes.
supposedly given to these children in order to discipline them, to reprimand them, to correct them, to guide them. That's what, like Saint Joseph was not only saving the lives of the mother and the child, but he also sustained. The sustaining, the saving, and the guiding is very important here. So I think we should balance,
Yes.
and then giving quality time to the children. You have to talk to them so that you may know what is going on in their mindset, in their also their sentiments, because these are the two delicate things, that mentality and then the emotional life of the children. It's very important. How about your experience here?
Well, the infant is Isabel, so Isabel cannot, For Mariel and Christelle, my two kids, Father, I noticed they have different personalities.
That is also important
Yeah,
to adjust.
the other one is a demanding type, and the other one is a submissive type. And so, when you talk to both of them, it's like you are shocked of the things that they already know, of the influences, and it's true. Father, the Yayas have
school
really,
and,
yes, from
and the
school, and the
Yayas,
Yayas and
the Yayas.
like they talk about boyfriends, and it's like oh, and then there's but they said I'm never gonna have, and it's like it's so
Like,
amazing to
defensive way.
yes, and then it's like oh, and then with Christelle, my second child, I was just so amazed in how good she is. It's like every time I talk, it's like there's food in the table, and I said, okay, it's time to eat. Christelle never chooses her food, but it's Mario who says, "Oh, can you warm this?" And it's like, it's different personalities,
Yes.
and then when you explain to them about sacrifice, it's amazing how they understand being sacrificing.
As children.
Yes, and have
Yeah.
what about self mortification, and it's like when I tell them if you want to eat chocolates, because Christelle is a chocolate lover, like me. So then when I tell Christelle na, you know what, Christelle, if you can give little sacrifices to Jesus, like Saint Therese, Father, when she wants to eat something, and I say, oh, you can avoid that now, today you can eat it tomorrow or on Sunday, and then you can say, Jesus, this is my sacrifice and my offering for you for the day, and then both
nice.
kids are really amazed, and then they say, oh yeah, and then when we go shopping sometimes, Father, when we go out, and then I noticed Mario would say, no, mommy, we have to save. And it's like, and then they ask me, why does my friends have iPad or iPhones? And then I said, would you want to buy an iPad, or would you want to give the money for the iPad and donate it to other people, to those children on the streets? And then she was like, she paused, and she didn't answer me at all, and she said, then after like 5 minutes, and then she said, okay, let's just donate it. So I know, it's really hard to also really train kids, Father.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of course material things are very attractive, very attractive.
That's why the gifts of the Holy Spirit is given to us exactly, to have this on the spot, help from God. That is to say, the gifts of the Holy Spirit are perfect gifts to make us understand things right away and choose the right answer exactly for that particular moment. So we need to be connected to the Holy Spirit. Living in the presence of God, talking to the children especially, is very important.
Yes.
Especially when we are also close to our guardian angels, we can always sort of, even though we cannot perfectly right away, connect to God in a way, automatic, but because we have sort of processes in our minds, we discursively we think, we don't step by step, we don't think like spontaneous thinking of seeing everything in one glance. We cannot do that, but the Holy Spirit can exactly put into our minds right away the image or the particular answer of words and explanations or even examples. This is very important. It's very important because also as a formator before, I used to form lots of candidates for the religious life. I could always ask the Holy Spirit to guide me because I don't know how will I enter into the psychology of the person coming from a culture of the family and regions and countries that I'm not so informed or knowledgeable. So not familiar. So you have to really have an answer in the moment, or else that is a lapse. And when it becomes a lapse, you have not feed something very important, then it can delay the maturity and cooperation. So that's why it's very important then to always let our hearts be led with the Holy Spirit, not only by our seeing it in a natural manner, not only in the way we feel, but in the way God can really feed us by His help. That's why we need to really practice the presence of God wherever we go, especially for the family setting. It's so important because the moment you're already angry and then the Holy Spirit is no longer there to lead you, and then the words would come, and then the children will be affected then.
Yes.
Right in there. No, I think this is very important. I've seen moments that we could even say, oh, what kind of parents are they? They're treating the children this manner. Or maybe what kind of children responding to their parents, and then the parents would not even discipline, even if the children are already abusing, as if just indifferent. You leave them anyway. One day they will realize it, something like that. No? So one day they will realize when. No, so brothers and sisters, stay with us as we have a little pause again in our program, Voces Amoris.